I- Thank you. I forgot about that. Let me get that off my screen here. The meeting is now called to order on Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Presley, can you begin with some housekeeping?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Dillard. I will start with housekeeping right now. This checklist committee meeting will be on Zoom via teleconference and held at the California Commission on Disability Access headquarters located at 400 R Street, Suite 312, Sacramento, California, 95811. Per Senate Bill 189, the Bagley-Keene teleconferencing restrictions have been suspended through July 1st, 2023. Therefore, committee members are not required to list their remote locations. Members of the public may participate by Zoom or teleconference from any location. This meeting will be captioned and recorded. To assist in this effort, please state your first and last name each time you speak and speak loud and clear. The Stream Text live captioning link has been included in the chat for your use, and staff can provide the link when asked. Public participants can use the raise hand function to alert the committee of when they would like to speak, and we will also give an opportunity for public members who have called into the meeting, at which time they can unmute themselves. If you are attending this meeting via teleconference, please press *6 on your keypad to unmute or mute yourself. If you would like to alert CCDA, press *9 to telephonically raise your hand and staff will call on you. To use the raise hand function, please follow these steps. Using Zoom with the web browser, first click on the icon labeled reactions in the toolbar on the bottom center of your screen. After clicking reactions, a new window will show on your screen. At the bottom right of the screen, there will be a button labeled raise hand. If you're using it via mobile, click on the 3 sideways dots labeled more. The more option is in the toolbar on the bottom right corner of the screen. After clicking more, a new window will pop up at the bottom of your screen. Press raise hand. Please remember to mute yourself if you're not speaking to reduce noise. If you are having technical issues throughout the meeting and need assistance, please use the chat function to alert the CCDA staff or email ccda@dgs.ca.gov. And I will pass it back to you, Chair Commissioner, for our roll.
Just to check to make sure, has anyone else, other commissioners showed up?
Yes, so we do have we have Commissioner Hector Ramirez. We have Commissioner Ben Conway. And we also have Nikki Taylor for Senator Ochoa Bogue's office.
Okay. And so at this time, can we do our roll call?
Yes, I will cover roll call for you. Thank you, Commissioner Dillard. I will start with Commissioner Drake Dillard.
Here, present.
Thank you. Commissioner Brian Holloway.
Present.
Thank you. Committee member Bill Zelmer. Committee member Bill Zelmer. Okay. Committee member Richard Holleran. Committee member Ike Naji. Committee member Brandon Estes. And then committee member Mendy Shadab.
Present.
Thank you. And I will pass it back to you, Commissioner Dillard. We do have quorum.
We do. Okay, great.
We are just waiting for Bill Zelmer. I apologize. Once we
Okay.
have Bill Zelmer, we will have full quorum.
Correct. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes,
Appreciate
my apologies.
That
Sorry
correct.
about that.
No, it's fine. That's fine. So at this time, are there any public members to identify themselves?
We do have a hand raise. I will, there we go. Oh, I think the hand went away. Are there any public members that would like to identify themselves? All right, Liz Barris and AJ Rosito are both public members that have raised their hands to identify themselves.
Okay, please.
Presley, can you pick someone to?
Oh, yes, I unmuted Liz if you would like to
Okay.
identify yourself, and then I
Hi.
will unmute AJ.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was muted, but it was just now unmuted. Thanks. So
The chairman of the committee rejected my request to give a PowerPoint presentation, a brief one, on a disability that's being, people's rights are being violated on a daily basis, thousands and thousands of Californians. I'm one of them. And it's not an issue that lots of you are familiar with, which is why I wanted to give the PowerPoint, a brief one, but that idea has been rejected. So I'm just going to speak about it here, but rather than just public comment, I'd like to have a dialogue with somebody on the committee that would be able to see what we can do about this. You know, the situation is wireless electromagnetic radiation is disabling thousands of people all across the state. I currently live in my car, even though I'm paying rent. I mean, the ADA violations are so profound. When I go to court, I am like dying in court because of the Wi-Fi router. I can't, for 2 days, I'm sick. Migraine headaches, you know, blood comes out of my kidneys. I mean, it's really bad. Nausea and vomiting when it's really bad. And I live in my car. I have extension cords from my apartment to my car for internet, phone, and electric. But, you know, the violations are, and not everybody can hire a lawyer. You know, I'd like to know what I know that there's public comment. You probably won't be commenting, but I'm asking for comment if it's possible, if it's not like against the rules. Is it okay for you guys to comment right now? No? Okay. Well, anyway, I would like to have an actual dialogue with someone on the committee that can actually help me work with me to do something about this, or what you guys could do about it. I don't really know the process there. So that is the situation. And I'd also like to know what time at the end of the meeting, I don't know if it's necessary for me to comment again on this at the end of the meeting. Are you allowed to answer that question? No?
There is another public comment opportunity. This is.
No, I know. I'm saying I don't necessarily need to comment again about the same thing, but well, I'll just finish up here. You know, everything from courts to jails to libraries to businesses, you know, Starbucks, my apartment, you know, there's not one business or governmental, you know, office that is not in violation here of people like me whose rights are being violated by not being accommodated. Okay. And you know, I mean, I loved my Wi-Fi too, and I loved my cell phone so much, and I realized what we're up against. But at the same time, this is a known neurotoxin, genotoxin, and carcinogen. And, you know, it's really, we have to have our, you know, the Fair Housing Act and the American Disabilities Act are being violated. And I really need to do something about this. I would very much like to work with the committee on what we can do. So if somebody, you know, it's hard to have a dialogue when you all can't talk back. I'm just talking to you. So I'm not really sure how to proceed from here, but I would very much like to proceed. We need to proceed. It is a matter of life and death. It's an urgent matter, very urgent matter. So if somebody would please either say something maybe now about how we can proceed. And I'm actually in the middle of working. I won't be able to be here for the whole meeting. So my direct contact number is 310-455-7530. You can also reach me at contact@thepeoplesinitiative.org. I'd very much like to speak with committee members about this. You know, I've been emailing forever about giving this presentation, and of course it was finally rejected, and that's why I thought it was taking so long. I was correct. Anyway, so there we have it. And I do hope that, you know, somebody from this committee will, you know, help us out with this. It's an unbelievable situation because people in wheelchairs are always accommodated. People with all kinds of disabilities, deaf, blind, you name it. People that have what I have are told to go take a hike. They're told, get out of my face. They're told, you're crazy, even though there's thousands of studies on this. It's infuriating, and it's life and death, and it's a serious medical matter, and it's a serious legal matter. I have multiple lawsuits on this. I have sued the FCC and won. We prevailed in that lawsuit, yet still people's rights are being violated. But you know, I can't sue everybody. I mean, I only have so much money, you know. So I really do hope to be in dialogue with you guys. That's my phone number. Please call me. Or I prefer a phone call to an email, actually. Much prefer that. I'd prefer direct communication about this. I very much look forward. Thank you so much. And I will stop talking now.
Thank you for your comments. And I was going to suggest we take the phone number and information down, which was given. So thank you.
Thank you.
And the next caller.
Oh, Chair Commissioner Dillard, I apologize. I should have tracked this a little bit better. We're actually still at the roll call portion. So the public, we're at the portion where the public identify themselves, but we actually skipped to agenda item 3, and I apologize about that.
Okay.
We skipped to public comment a little too early. But if you'd like to, we did roll call and form has been established.
So now,
Commissioner Dillard, I did want to let you know that we do have Bill Zelmer, so we do have quorum to move on to our meeting,
Okay.
minutes, just so everyone knows.
okay, thank you. Thank you. So if I'm correct, I'm going to try to go back on the agenda here, and I'm going to go to agenda item 2. This is approval of the September 28, 2022 meeting minutes. If everyone has had a chance to look at the checklist minutes, I would like to hear if there's any questions, additions, or corrections. So at this time, if not, I will.
This is Commissioner Holloway. I'll move approval of the minutes.
And this is Commissioner Ramirez. I'll second that.
Okay, great. It's been properly moved and second. Is there any unreadiness?
Excuse me, Chair Commissioner Diller. Unfortunately, we need to have a second motion from a commissioner that is a member on the committee.
So whoever second was not a member, I'm sorry.
I do have-
I'd be happy to second it. Bill Zelmer with Sutter Health, member of the committee. I second the motion.
Thank you, Bill. So are we proper now? If we are, is there any unreadiness at this time?
You're good to go, Chair Commissioner Dillard.
I'm sorry, say it again. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you.
Oh, you're all good.
Okay, thank you. If none, do we have to have a roll call on this, or can we?
We do, but first we ask for public comment.
Okay, before we finalize that. So at this time, if there's anyone from the public to identify themselves, and we will allow you to make comments.
This is just for this agenda item. I
Oh,
apologize.
correct. Do we have any hands up for public comments for this item?
Commissioner Dillard, there are no hands up for public comments on this item.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. So at this time, I'm going to call for the vote.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Dillard. I will take the vote for you. We will start with Commissioner Holloway,
Aye.
Commissioner Dillard,
Aye.
Bill Zelmer,
Aye.
Mendy Shadab.
Aye.
Okay, and with that, we have a 4-0 vote on yays for our approval minutes. So I will pass it back to you, Commissioner Dillard.
Thank you. Moving forward, agenda item 3. Comments from the public on issues not on this agenda. If there's any comments from the public on this issue, issues that are not on the agenda at this time? Can we hear from the public?
Commissioner
Com-
Dillard, we do have one of our public members, AJ Rosito. I will unmute him now.
Thank you.
Go ahead, AJ. Thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners and committee members. AJ Rosito with the California Hotel and Lodging Association. Apologize for the background. Just wanted to thank the commission for its work. A lot of very serious issues that come before this committee, and its mission is absolutely vital to the state. So just wanted to give you some general appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you. Second request, anyone from the public?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication of any other public members with their hands raised.
Thank you. If there are no further comments, we will move on to the agenda item 4. This agenda item is accessible parking campaign. And I'm going to refer to our CCDA's Executive Director, April Dawson, for discussion on this.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Dillard. Good afternoon, everyone. This is April Dawson, the Executive Director of CCDA, and I just wanted to give you a brief update on the progress for the Accessible Parking Campaign Toolkit. The two work groups that have convened over the better part of 2022 and into 2023 submitted their draft to me at the end of 2022, and I submitted the draft to the Office of Public Affairs with Department of General Services, as well as to the Deputy Director of the division that we're administratively nested in, the ISD division, and also to the Division of the State Architect, Ida Claire. And we received the edits back in late December, early January from all of those entities. And we are currently in the process of making sure that we can incorporate all of the edits that we received. And so what we're doing at the staff level is I have reached out interdepartmentally to receive some interdepartmental services to finalize the project. And so there are some staff members from the Division of the State Architect who have generously offered to work with to incorporate technical edits that we received from the State Architect's office. We also reached out to the Office of the State Printer, who has given us a quote to do the graphic design work so that we have high quality images and we can create a high quality booklet. And we also have reached out to someone from the Real Estate Services Division, who is an architect, who is also a certified access specialist, who has offered their interdepartmental services to help with the technical edits as well. And so my hope is to have the technical edits finalized just before summer, which will give time for us to get the swing back for the work groups to take one more look at it to make sure that the edits still, reflect the voice of the work groups. And then we will make sure that, again, the entities that need to sign off on it are good with the draft before it's submitted to the commission. My hope is that we can submit it to the commission final approval at the July meeting. If not the July meeting, it will be the October meeting. But I'm doing our best to make sure that my hope is that we can get it to the July meeting, because I know that we had hoped to get the toolkit ready to go in the summer to align with our listening forums. But we are still on track as far as the original timeline of finishing it by the end of 2023. So in terms of our legislative obligations, we're still on track. It's not technically running late. It's just what we hope for is we wanted to push it a little bit further up. So doing our best to do that. So I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. First, let us hear any comments from the checklist committee. or other commissioners on this agenda item?
Our executive director Dawson's program to resolve this issue is the right way to go. So I appreciate her making that happen.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else, commissioners or committee members?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication of anyone that would like to comment on this.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, for the public comments, we allow a few minutes if need be to make comments on this as well.
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat on public members.
And this is April. There are no public members in the room with us.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, thank you for that report. It's very good. And at this time, we're going to move to agenda item 5. Agenda item 5 is a committee focus for 2023. Refer to, at this time, I'm going to refer to CCDA again, Executive Director April Dawson for discussion on the focus for 2023.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Dillard. Well, first I'd like to just level set, and I know we have some new voices in the room, and so I wanted to share first the purpose of the checklist committee. So the purpose of the checklist committee is to work on technical documents and special projects related to the commission. And at the January full commission meeting, I shared a couple of things that the commission is already working on, that the commission, as well as the checklist committee in particular, is already working on for 2023. So I'll share those again and share a little bit about the progress. And then I'd love to hear from members of the checklist committee and members of the public, the voices in the community, to hear about any other technical documents or special projects that you think that the checklist committee should take on. You know, being cognizant of the fact that we do have limited resources. So your ideas are very important to us. And so if you share an idea that may not be able to be implemented this year, we will still be able to discuss it and carry the idea forward into later sessions and later years. And what we have been focused on since late last year has been the accessible parking campaign. And so the checklist committee, as well as our 2 work groups that are sort of the ad hoc committee of the checklist committee, has been working on an accessible parking toolkit for business owners and operators / ADA coordinators, as well as the construction industry, on how to ensure that accessible parking is available for people with disabilities at businesses, because we found in our data that accessible parking was one of the top alleged disability access violations. So the legislature and the community was really keen on CCDA working on that. And so that is something that as soon as we get to finalizing the document itself, as I mentioned in the prior agenda item, the checklist committee will be really instrumental in monitoring our outreach phase of the accessible parking campaign, making recommendations to staff about how we can make sure that our accessible parking toolkit and the components of it are utilized in a way that all of our stakeholders can utilize it immediately at their sites. The other thing that the checklist committee will be working on this year is developing a website accessibility toolkit for businesses. And so we are starting the process of that. I'll be speaking to this a little bit later, but AB 2917 mandated CCDA to start tracking website access violations and to produce toolkits and educational modules to make sure that businesses are fully accessible with their websites to people with disabilities. And so staff has started the preliminary work that we need to do to lay the groundwork for creating those toolkits and those modules. And so the checklist committee will be instrumental this year in monitoring that project and providing any technical feedback that we need for it. And those are the 2 main projects. So you're all very busy, but if you have any other ideas for for future toolkits or technical documents or one pagers or other special projects related to our purview. We would love to hear those so that we make sure that we're targeting our work towards what the stakeholders need. So with that, I'll answer any questions and take any comments.
So at this time, we're going to allow members from the checklist committee and other commissioners for their comments, if any.
Bill Zellmer with Sutter Health.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, in addition to what April said, it is a challenge to write a document like this. It's tempting to put all of the detail in it. And so we were struggling with making it a concise, smallish document.
Right.
Otherwise, most people are not going to read through a 30 or 40-page document
Right.
when they're business owners, who is our target. They're trying to run a restaurant or something. They don't want to pour through a long document. So that's been a challenge we've been dealing with. And I do appreciate that the folks at DSA and DGS are going to take a crack at this and give us some input. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Any other commissioners or committee members?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication from other commissioners.
Again, I'd like to piggyback with Bill. That has been a challenge, and we will continue to work on it. But the draft so far, in terms of the review, I thought was very helpful, and I'm sure it'll continue to get better and better. At this time, let's go back to the public. Are there any comments from the public on this?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat on any public members.
Okay, so moving on. There's no further comments. We're going to move on to the agenda item 6, which is the CCDA response to Assembly Bill 2917 checklist roll. I think this was alluded to by our director earlier.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Dillard. This is April Dawson, the Executive Director at CCDA. And what you have on the screen, just for access purposes, is a one-pager that says Assembly Bill 2917, and it is just a synopsis of it. And what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about AB 2917. I think many of you who have attended our meetings before have heard that from us. So AB 2917 has asked us to do a few things. The first thing has asked us to expand the data we collect in our legal portal. For those of you who may be new voices in the room, CCDA has a function under statute to collect alleged disability access violations related to Title III of the ADA, related to places of public accommodations, also commonly referred to as private businesses. And we also collect information related to alleged disability access violations from the UNRU Act and the Disabled Persons Act. And now the AB 2917, which was signed by the governor and is now law, has asked us to collect website violation data, alleged access violation data related to websites. And we will be reporting that to the legislature every year. And so we've done a few things. We have reached out to the Bar Association, the Cal Bar, to talk about how we could share this information so that attorneys know that they're now required to submit their alleged disability access violation complaints to our portal related to websites. And we also have started the process of upgrades to our CCDA legal portal. So at a prior meeting, I did misspeak when I said that we were finished with that work. We actually have a ticket to complete that work. And so what we have is we have the ability now, attorneys have the ability to select a category for website access violations. That's the catch-all category. So what we want to do is add several different subcategories. So several months ago, we reached out to some people who are familiar with disability access violation categories and potential ways that people may think that a website is inaccessible to people with disabilities. And we created a list of subcategories, and we submitted that to our portal administrator to be able to add those so that we can not just get the catch-all data of how many website access violations we have, but actually be able to divide it up. You know, for example, like how many of them were because there was too many flashing lights, or how many of them didn't have alt text, for example. Those are just some examples. So that when we report to the legislature and we work to educate businesses, we could share with them what type of data is actually being captured. And so those upgrades should be done soon, so that we can start collecting that more refined data. And we also have been thinking about internally how we can create the toolkit for website accessibility to give to businesses to educate them, as well as working with them on some educational modules. So we're going to be convening a lot of conversations with stakeholders, small businesses, and making sure that we produce technical assistance that can help businesses ensure that they are fully accessible to people with disabilities. And we're also working closely with the Department of Rehabilitation, who has put together, they have an excellent website and toolkit for state and local governments related to accessibility of websites. And we have been told by them that we're able to adapt some of the materials that they have. We just have to do it to the business voice. And so they've been very helpful. So we've begun this work, and we're going to continue to move forward with complying with AB 2917 and making sure that small businesses understand their obligations to make sure that their websites are fully accessible to people with disabilities, so that people can use their websites and go to their businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, are there any comments from the checklist committee and other commissioners on this agenda item?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication of any committee members or commissioners in the chat.
I have one quick one. Would this have any impact in terms of your staffing and hours, in terms of your goals and scope of work for the year? Or was this already part of your plan?
We knew that, thank you, Chair Commissioner Dillard, this is April. We knew that this was coming because we've been tracking the legislation. And so we knew that this was gonna be
Okay.
something that we needed to do. I think that we just had to adapt a little bit as I've come on and
Correct.
and working on the accessible parking campaign concurrently, just making sure that we're cognizant of workflow and doing our obligations. So I anticipate that we have the workflow, we have the staffing and the partners in place to be able to do the work.
Okay. Thank you very much. Again, second opportunity for any committee member or commissioners. Hearing none, I'm going to go to the public for comments.
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat for public members.
Thank you very much. Hearing no further comments, we'll move into agenda item 7. This is the agenda item for 2023 listening forum. And again, our Executive Director, April Dawson, will make comments on this.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Dillard. This is April. I'm really excited to talk with you about where we're at with the 2023 listening forum. So for those of you who may be new voices in the room or who may not have heard about our listening forums, prior to COVID, one of the things that CCDA prided itself on and was known for was having these listening forums. And the idea behind them is to bring people with disabilities, the business community, and local governments and other stakeholders together to talk about, what do we need to learn from one another? Let's have a conversation about our community's needs for access to businesses. What do businesses need? What do people with disabilities need? And how can we make sure that we're building each other's capacity and listening to one another and solving problems and solving problems at the local level before it becomes litigious or before we all build stories around one another about what we may think of each other. And those have always been very successful. And during COVID, we weren't able to put on those forums. Now that some of the COVID restrictions have been lifted, we are planning to have several regional forums throughout the state of California in 2023. We do have one that is officially booked. It will be August 30th in the city of San Jose. So I'm really excited that we're going to be working with the city of San Jose's disability officer, as well as a few other stakeholders from the city of San Jose, as well as the county of Santa Clara, who are helping put on this forum. And we're going to have a panel discussion as well as breakout session. And we're going to make sure that during this listening forum, that the local jurisdictions are able to talk about what they're doing, what is going well with access to people with disabilities for businesses, and what resources are available to businesses to make sure they become compliant for people with disabilities. And there's also going to be an opportunity for the business owners to talk directly to the jurisdictions and people with disabilities to talk about, you know, what have their challenges been, what ideas are out there. And then for people with disabilities to talk to the jurisdictions and the business owners about the challenges they have to access. And then we will be able to come up with, you know, what CCDA's role could be to help them build their capacity, and also just provide a forum for them to build relationships at the local level as well. So the first one will be in San Jose on August 30th. I also, I'm in conversations with community partners in Santa Rosa, as well as the Los Angeles area and the Central Valley, about firming up some plans to have forums in that area, as well as a Sacramento forum to kind of level set everything. We also are planning to have a tribal component at one of our forums as well. And I received a lead on that to be able to follow through on. So the San Jose one is the one that is officially on the book. And then the other ones will come along shortly after I firm up the partnerships and get things on the calendar.
Very
Thank you.
good. Very good. Thank you. And this might also be the opportunity for the person who was with us earlier, who might want to maybe visit one of these forums and be heard and listen as well. So I appreciate that. Are there any comments from the checklist committee or other commissioners on this agenda item?
This is Commissioner Holloway. Just wanted to echo what Director Dawson said. The listening sessions that I attended before COVID were really fruitful. I think they were helpful for the community. They were helpful for the disability community, and they were especially helpful for staff and the commissioners that were able to attend. I'm glad we're going back to those.
Thank you. Any other commissioner or committee member?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to go to the public and ask for any comments from the public on this agenda item.
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat for any public members.
Okay, moving along, agenda item 8. Future agenda items. And this is where we're asking if anyone has any future agenda items.
Liz.
And this is open, I guess this is open at this time. As a reminder, the next checklist committee meeting is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Wednesday, June the 21st. Additionally, our next full commission meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 19th from 10 to 4. And that will be in Los Angeles. So I look forward to that. But I guess we're asking the questions about future agenda items and would open it up to our committee members and our commissioners at this time.
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication of the chat for any committee members or commissioners.
Okay, and the same direction for the public. Any comments at this time from the public?
Commissioner Dillard, there appears to be no indication in the chat from the public members.
This is April. There is no one in the room with us from the public in person.
Okay. Well, thank you. We're just zooming along this meeting here. So agenda item 9 is unfortunately to adjourn the meeting. So I am now making a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Did we have both?
We have a second from Commissioner Holloway.
Okay. And I guess Presley, do we need to do a roll call for the commissioners for this?
Yes, we'll just do a roll call and then we'll be good for adjournment. So I could do that for you real quick, Commissioner Dillard.
Thank you.
All right, let's start. Commissioner Holloway,
Aye.
Commissioner Dillard,
Aye.
Bill Zelmer,
Aye.
Mendy Shayab,
Aye.
Chair Commissioner Dillard, all CCDA commissioners and committee members' votes have been noted. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you. And have a
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
take
afternoon.
care.
Thank
You
you
too.
all.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.